was skipping one time, like trying to get back into the groove of moving. And then our eldest son was like laughing at me. And I thought, damn, was I doing something wrong? He tells his mum, oh, look at his stomach. It's like, and bro, when I heard that, I was like, what the hell? My plan was to just do that one show, and then that was it. But that one show kind of bit me in. Like, I had the bug, and I was like, man, I want to do it again. I called out to the specialist who kind of broke the whole ultrasound down, and she was like, so you have a hole in your heart. One side of your heart is inflamed because it's working too hard, because the other side's not working properly.
What's some quick tips you could give to people that struggle with losing weight?
First, like, you gotta...
Steroids.
Yeah.
Is it still rampant? Is it still strong in the game?
Oh, yeah. It's
Band-Aid. Hi everyone, if you are enjoying the content and the guests that are on the podcast and you're wanting more, then please do us a favor. If you can just press the subscribe button, that would be an amazing help for us. But also, just want to mention an amazing organization called AOK, who sponsors the Mandate podcast. And so they are an organization that runs suicide prevention, intervention, and wellbeing programs. And so AOK stands for Acts of Kindness. And so you didn't need me to tell you about the alarmingly high rates of suicide in our nation, especially amongst our rangatahi, our young people, even our tane, our men. And so if you're wanting to stand in the gap and you want to be well trained and well equipped to have these courageous life supporting conversations, then please check them out, aok.nz. If you're a business, a company or a collective, or even as an individual, check them out, www.aok.nz. You could very well be that one person to help save a life. Welcome to Mandate, where we navigate fresh perspectives and nothing is off the table. Tonight's guest is from Tāmiki Makuru, out in South Okilani, at a place called 275 Mangere, or also is Mangele. But also the man is an interesting and also an amazing individual who happens to be a head coach, one of the head coaches or the head coach of W Performance HQ. The man is also an online performance coach as well, and also the man has competed in the IFBB bodybuilding competitions and also in the men's physique. The man is also an entrepreneur, business-minded individual, but also the man is the father of 4, an incredible husband, but more so has an amazing story to share. Please put your hands together for the man himself, Peneueta Nu Alitia!
Ever since I've been watching this, I've always wondered if he's been reading off a script.
Oh, legit.
That's crazy. Oh, thank you for the intros.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for coming out, man. And I tell you, I appreciate the work you do, man. I know you've done the hard yards, personal trainer, you're in the gym, you're the head coach, online performance coach, all these amazing things that you do. So also, there has to be a backdrop, there has to be an actual story as to why you've gone into this field, so to speak. Also, tell us what made you get into this, and also why IFBB and why bodybuilding, and also the men's physique.
Oh, damn. Yeah, okay, let's go right back. So I put on quite a bit of weight just due to like self-depression, like just the way I was feeling about myself, and pretty sure this was roughly around 2008. Got a bit heavy. Some things happening with my relationship, my ex-relationship, to what I'm doing now. And then, I just noticed after our second child, youngest was born, my wife and I were like, my partner at the time, it was getting a bit intense, like talking about weddings and getting married again and having more kids. And then, all that pressure kind of like hit. And I was, just started eating, started drinking. Like literally every single weekend, whatever the excuse, it was, let's go out. And like nowadays, if you go at $30, you don't get much. Back then, man, we could go out with $30 and we'd be okay. We kind of rely on our families and friends to kind of shout us. But it was heavy drinking, a lot of parties, a bit of drugs, and because we're a mixed family, a blended family is what we are. And then 2011 kind of got too heavy. I think my heaviest weight was roughly around 125 kgs. for my height, that's not good. Like it's I looked really big. And then fast forward a little bit, I kind of struggled to keep up with the youngest at the time, which was our son Titan, and our 2 5-year-olds at the time. And funny thing is, I haven't even thought about this, but I've just remembered it now. Like I was skipping one time, like trying to get back into the groove of moving, skipping one time with my shirt off. And then our eldest son was like laughing at me, and I thought, damn, was I doing something wrong? And then he tells his mom, oh, look at his stomach, it's like and bro, when I heard that, I was like, what the hell? Bro, even my son's cracking up in my stomach.
So did you fussy him up?
No, because we didn't do that. I remember that. He probably doesn't remember this because I think he was like 6 or 7 at the time. But yeah, he like cracked up in my stomach, and I was a bit conscious. I was like, man, that's crazy. And then I thought, okay, if I'm gonna try and lose weight, let's just kind of go all in. And then I started turning up to fitness classes, Life Fitness. They used to run out of Life Fit or Live Fit out of our church in Mangere Airport Oaks. So they used to run like big training blocks on a Saturday morning, and I just tagged along with my mum and my sister and my niece at the time, and kind of like found my feet. Like quickly noticed how unfit I was, and then I thought, okay, maybe the group fitness thing's not my thing. I'm gonna join up to a gym, which was Jets at the airport, and I thought, oh, okay, let's give it a go and let's lift some weights and see what happens. And then slowly started learning some stuff about nutrition, and how quickly my results were kind of coming because I was unaware of how bad starving myself was, and I was like, no idea on what the harm I was doing to my body by eating like one meal a day, working all day, come home, train, and then kind of I was always away from my family, so I got really selfish with it. Like I started seeing small changes here and there, and then I got addicted to that, and I was like, oh man, I want to see more. And then not long after, like I met one of the boys at Jets. His name was Tangi, and he had just finished the bodybuilding comp, and I was like, bro, what's it like? And he goes, oh, it's pretty easy. But if you see this guy, man, totally
Genetics.
bro, easy man. What are you on, man? No, this guy has always been like one of my inspos for bodybuilding because he's always been natural, from what I understand. His name is Tangi Ropati. His wife is Emma Ropati.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Man, this guy's always been one of my goals there. So he competed, and then like 2 weeks out from my show, I thought, okay, I wonder if he'd help me. Like we didn't know each other. We just trained at the same place. I wonder if he'd help me with my posing. And man, he was down. He like, oh yeah, let's do a back session. And then we trained together. And then yeah, try this. And they look at that. They look at this. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then first show we went to lost all that weight from 2011 up to my first show in 2015, and went in blind, had no idea what I was doing, no idea what a carb up was, no idea what I was meant to do on a peak week, no idea what my training should look like on peak week. I was still trying to lift heavy and all of that rubbish, and then I think that first show kind of set the tone for me. Like I came out of nowhere in a class of, I think there was like 18 or 20 of us. I might be over exaggerating, but it felt like there was 100 on stage. And I came out top 5. Like I placed 5th out of that class. Yeah, it was crazy, and I had no idea what I was doing. And then I thought, okay, my plan was to just do that one show, and then that was it. But that one show kind of bit me, like I was bitten. I had the bug, and I was like, man, I want to do it again. So then Bart's dude signed up for nationals that same year, and then I quickly learned what 5th place looks like on the national stage, where I got smoked. No idea what I was doing, no guidance, and I walked away, and I was like, okay, that was kind of depressing, like feeling like I was meant to be there, only to find out I was nowhere near the mark, like just behind the ball on that one. And yeah, that was a lesson learned for 2015. And then kind of built on that. Like I used that as fuel to come back in 2016, do the exact same show, but this time come with a coach, link up with a coach who I linked up with. His name is Gary. And the same show the following year, went back and we won that category.
Oh.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So and it was a novice. I think I won novice overall, made it to overall, and I came second up against a dude named Clark, who pretty guy. So he deserved it. But yeah, that was, and then just got like from there, just got better and better and better. Like I got hungrier to be better, to be able to keep up with the competition at the time. Following year, 2017, did my first international show as an amateur and won that division. And that was open. So that was amongst some big boys' names, like big names there. And then I planned to kind of come back in 2018, but yeah, some plans changed. Got sick and found out I needed heart surgery.
Damn.
So yeah, it changed pretty quickly.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Because you seem like you're in a bit of a role, hey? You're
Yeah. It felt that way.
Yeah, it seems like you're on the kind of like you're kind of reaching different levels. Like, it's incredible. Like you said, you just started 2008, 2008, and then you come fifth out of all these other competitors, and you realize you have to come back novice. You become the novice number one.
Yeah,
and then you second overall.
Yeah,
because for someone to do that, it has to take a lot of in terms of mindset, because often people think when you're thinking, because of the work that you do, the training, the physical aspect, but not too many people touch on the mental. And so I can imagine as you're fueling and grinding and working on your physical, what was happening over here in the mental? Because it seems like the mental was aligned with, was in sync with your physical. It seems like you were in a good headspace.
Yeah, it was easy for me because my wife was kind of like, every time I do a show, my wife I got to make sure she's buying into it too. I can't just, I want to do the show, I'm going to do the show, and you're going to do it with me. It's like, I really want to do this, and then I kind of like just throw my fishing rod out there, see if I catch anything, shit. And then she kind of like throws some facts at it, like, can you afford it? It's expensive sport. Are you ready for it? Will you be ready for it? Who's going to coach you? And so, but every single show we've done, it's always been, we agree. It's not just me. And that makes it easier because, when I tell her, okay, I got to go work, but then after work, I got to train, she's already on board. Like, don't be too late. And then that's pretty much it. So because home is sorted, my mentors were pretty positive. All I needed to focus on was when I was in the gym was be in the gym, like train hard, go hard, and then go home. And then it was kind of, and it's still the same now. Like she knows, like even today, like with what I was saying before, like the funeral and stuff. Like did the whole funeral thing for her cousin, and then after the burial, everyone went to the anger, and I was like, sorry, baby, I gotta go train, because besides that slot right there, I won't be able to train at all today. And she's like, okay, cool, we'll go drop you off, and then we'll go to the anger. So she's definitely been that person for me. Like every single show, she shows a bit more emotion than I do on comp days. For me, like I always try and act like an athlete. Like, but my thoughts on comp days is, you've either done the work or not. So you're either gonna do well or you're not gonna do well. And whatever happens is meant to happen. And that's how I look at every single show. So if I walk into that show feeling like I had nothing left to give, then that's it.
It's cool, man.
Yeah. But my last show, I kind of walked away like, man, I had so much left in the tank and I didn't do much, eh? And then that's how that show reflected. Like I walked away, like my head was down, fell in a hole, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna put bodybuilding to the side, and I'm gonna try CrossFit for a bit and see how I go. still fitness. Like I still needed to prep for it. I still needed to learn new things, and I think that was probably the most exciting thing was being able to learn something that wasn't bodybuilding. That's kind of like my forte. And man, CrossFit is crazy.
Yeah, what was it?
Oh man, it's me personally, it's physically it's harder than bodybuilding. Mentally, a little bit easier.
Wait, explain. What do you mean? Yeah.
Man, okay, so having to learn, like I've never done a CrossFit comp at all, like leading up to my first comp last year. But I had to learn how to do like gymnastics, rig, handstand walk, pull-ups, chest to bars, bar muscle up. Learn how to Olympic lift, like cleans and snatches and all of that stuff. Like that's demanding on the body. But mentally, I just took my bodybuilding mindset and they're like, I just want to learn. Let's just go in there and give it everything. And if we pull it off, we pull it off. If not, then it's meant to be. But the diet side of CrossFit is a lot more flexible than it is a bodybuilder's diet. Bodybuilder's diet has to be down to the macros, like protein, how much protein you're eating, carbs, fats, what times are you eating, how good is your sleep, how are you managing your stress. Like all of those things play a part in how your prep goes for bodybuilding. Whereas CrossFit, you get a good sleep, you eat well, you'll lift well, and you'll move well. That's what I've learned being in that short stint, spending that short time in that scene.
Jeez.
Yeah. So mentally, bodybuilding a lot harder than what CrossFit is.
My gosh.
That's
I didn't hear.
You were talking about back in 2015, you went competed at nationals and got sassed up.
Yep.
You came back the next year with your coach Gary.
Yep.
And you pretty much took it out, and you came second overall.
Yeah.
What were the changes that you made between 2015 prep and 2016 prep?
There was no more guessing. Like I had someone there to kind of guide me, tell me, okay, cool, you need to eat this for the next 6 weeks. And then in 6 weeks, we'll have a look and see if we need to change anything. And then we'll change things in 6 weeks' time. So there was like blocks where I'd kind of get one diet, stick to that diet, stick to that training, and then come in, check my body fat, check my posing, and then be like, cool. Posing needs some work, so make sure you practice that 3 times a week next week. Diet will change that slightly because you're starting to build up you're starting to lose some size, so we're just going to add some carbs, take away some protein, and see if that fuels the workout a bit. But when I was on my own in 2015, it was like, I'm sure this is good to eat. I'm sure one burger won't hurt. I'm sure
the American muscle.
Yeah, like, look at my wife. Baby, you want some American muscle? So that was it. It was just basically having someone there that's been through those trenches of prep, dieting and posing and kind of guiding me through that. And man, this guy, he was younger than me at the time. I think he was only like, he was probably like 8 years younger than me at the time, or maybe 5.
What?
Yeah. All my coaches have always been younger than me. So Gaz, younger. He left the coaching scene, and then I had to find a new coach after my my heart surgery. And then I linked up with this other guy, talented coach named Marcus Hoflich from Anytime Fitness in Manukau. And man, same thing. I think he was like 10 years younger than me, Marcus. But man, these dudes knew their stuff, eh? Like, because they had been in the scene for so long, it was easy. It's easy for them to see what they need to do with me because they've done it before.
Did they study this, or?
I think with bodybuilding, it's kind of like you gotta do it. You can't just study it and then implement something into others that helps them bodybuild. Man, because there's stuff in bodybuilding that, like for an example, Gaz, backstage before I walked on, he made me scull back 3 vodka shots.
True.
Yeah. And apparently it's to make you more dehydrate you that much quicker, because that's what alcohol does. And gives you a bit more of a veiny look on stage. So for like 10 minutes, took a shot. I did some push-ups, did some lateral raises, and then I had some lollies and Pop-Tarts. And then I'll repeat. I'll just keep repeating that for like 10, 15 minutes. So I walked out on stage with liquid courage. And I thought I was the man, bro. I was like, and I think that's what helped with my stage presence too, because I was like kind of tipsy. But it was fun that time, you know? My first time, no alcohol. It was just lollies. And I was like, what is it? Shocked at the amount of people out there. My second time up with gas and after all that alcohol, man, I felt good. Like I was like, man, this is where I want to be. And I just, did my little performance and then we walked away with it. But like knowing what to do backstage, you can't study that. Like it's something that you have to kind of endure with a coach or on your own to be able to pass that info on. Because then my coach after that had a different approach to what we do backstage, where I shouldn't be sharing these.
Was it five shots? Was it?
No, it was so we mixed red wine with pre-workout, the protein powder. Yeah. We'd like shake it up and sip on it and have a chocolate, or I think my one was chicken nuggets at the time. So chicken nuggets, protein with wine, and then some chocolate in between, and pumping up the whole way through, and then. Yeah, and then that was a different approach. Like it was like, this is crazy, because it tastes like shit, man. Like sipping it, like, but because like red wine is a little bit sour, and then you got
the
pre-workout.
Yeah, pre-workout.
Like man, it's like burning your throat. It's like, bro, what the hell? And then but it worked. Like that year, coach Marcus coached me. We did that was 2019. So heart surgery in 2018, 2019 I came back, and my first show after heart surgery was Feb, and that was the international show. That was my first show, kind of just letting everyone know, yeah, I'm still here, I'm still keen. And that show in open division I came second, and that was the first show after heart surgery. Show after that was in April, that was in Palmerston North. I came first in my division, then first overall. Came back up to Manukau, did the Manukau Classic in May. I came first in my division there. Had a long break, a building set up until October that same year, and then I went for my pro card, and then that's when I won my pro status in October. So it was 4 shows in 1 year, all like right after heart surgery, because that was the plan. Like I wanted to just throw myself in there and see how we go.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can touch on that, because you've mentioned it several times with in terms of the heart surgery.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like you were in a bit of a role until 2018, kind of stumped your progress. So tell us about the heart surgery and how much of an impact did it have on you?
Yeah. So 2017, after that show that year, I think that was early on in the year. Pretty sure it was March. And then later on in the year, around July, I caught strep throat from one of my kids. Like it's normal, it's cold time of year. You get cold, you get the cough or the flu, and then kind of pass it around everybody in the house. So then I got it, and then it kind of stayed a bit too long, like a week, and I was like, oh, maybe I should go to doctors. So I went and saw a doctor, and they were like, this one doctor kind of, she's listening around, lungs just, doing her thing. And then she was like, we're going to refer you to the specialist out at the super clinic, because I just want to make sure that nothing's wrong with your heart, because I can't really say anything right now because we need to confirm it. Cool. Yes, sweet. Let's go. And, me thinking, just being dramatic, but I'll go. It's a day off work anyway, because I was still working in the office that time. So then went to that appointment. And then, ultrasound? Yeah, so, man, I think I was in there for like maybe 25 minutes. And she was literally digging around everywhere, like just trying to find out what was happening. And then that happened, and she's like, okay, you need to wait around. And then waited around. Then I got called out to the doctor. the specialist who kind of broke the whole ultrasound down, and she was like, oh, okay, so you have a hole in your heart. One side of your heart is inflamed because it's working too hard, because the other side's not working properly. And then and then she was like, oh, okay, so what's next? And they were like, oh, you need to have all these pills daily until we figure out what we're gonna do. So I think I was like maybe about 8 to 10 pills per day. And they were like, oh, no more exercise. I was like, like, you know, like a true brown boy is like, oh, yeah. Straight after that, oh, I want to get trained. And then I went and trained. Like I kept training throughout the whole thing. And then several weeks later, got another letter, got to come back and do another ultrasound. But this time, not ultrasound, they're going to put me not to sleep, because I still needed to breathe, a camera down my throat and have a look at what's actually happening in the heart. So we did that, woke up, and then they were like, oh, okay, so you need surgery. Your heart, the hole in your heart is a birth defect that usually fixes itself as you get older. But your one didn't. I was like, oh, okay. What's the surgery like? And they were like, oh, there's two. One is we go, like, there's a safer route. We go through a vein and blow a balloon, and it kind of blocks that hole off. But the hole in your heart's too big, so we can't do that. So we gotta do open heart surgery. And then when I heard that, it was like, ooh, that sounds a bit
some real serious, some serious stuff.
Yeah, it's like, oh, damn, maybe I shouldn't have trained that day. And then it kind of snowballed, like those feelings. Hey, like I thought, holy shit, I'm gonna die, man. And then I started getting all my fears in place. Like I still got a letter on my phone that I wrote my wife in my notes, like just in case something happened. And then we started planning things like, okay, we're gonna go to Bali before surgery, which we did. Just us two, and we went with two of her cousins, and kind of had some fun before the surgery. And then I kind of explained everything that was happening to my job at the time. I was there for like 8-9 years. And then a month before that surgery, my job made me redundant.
No way.
Yeah. And then I was like, but luckily I there was a clause in my contract where I get paid out for redundancy. And because I'd been there for like 9 years, it was kind of a really good payout. So then financially, I was like, okay, we were kind of okay. Like if something goes a bit south, because I had life insurance as well. I got back from Bali, prepared for, I think we had about 8 weeks left until the surgery. My mindset shifted from I'm going to die to, if I'm going to have surgery, it's probably best if I hit it at my strongest. So then my bodybuilding mentality kind of kicked in again. I was like, oh man, I got to train, I got to move, I got to diet, I got to make sure once they start cutting me up, like my body can handle that stuff. And then that was it. Like went through it, had surgery. Sorry, boys. My nose like still.
Man.
Yeah, sorry. Had surgery in April, pretty sure. It was fast. Like apparently I was under for a bit too long because something about my sodium levels or something like that. But then came to, and that was it. Like it was almost like it was like just went to sleep and woke up. Like I see heaps of movies about what you see, you know, when you're unconscious. And man, I saw nothing. It was just black. And then I woke up and I was like, oh, okay. And I think I asked for my baby at the time, our daughter, was Bailey, and my wife got a little bit upset about that. And that was it. It was like that was it. That was like the defining part of my life that kind of convinced me, if you wake up, you gotta follow what you love, man. I'd been working in offices for over 15 years, working for other people, and I was kind of over it. Eh? I was done with it, and so we came to road to recovery was 12 weeks. I intentionally convinced my wife to buy me a gym set for home before the surgery, so I had something to do after it, and that's what I did. They said nothing intense until 12 weeks later, and 6 weeks out from surgery, I started lifting a little bit of weight, just here and there, just trying to move, trying to walk. Slowly started joining my wife on the shopping trips and taking my kids to their league games, and it kind of got better and better every single day, and found myself lying on a bench, like doing bench press not long after, and it was, I don't know, that was a sign to me, like, bro, time to work now. And then not long after, connected with Coach Marcus and started prepping for 2019.
Man,
what a story. Yeah.
That was a long story.
No, bro, that's good.
What's it like? I mean, how different was your perspective, sort of accepting that you're good? You very well could die. You sort of had to go into surgery, accepting that could happen.
Yeah.
How was your perspective changed afterwards? Did you see life differently? Did you see things differently? Were you pretty much the same?
Definitely saw everything differently. I went into surgery with one mindset, like, you're either going to wake up or not, or your affairs sorted. And that was like just me writing my wife that letter, making sure the life insurance was sorted, making sure my kids knew that I loved them. So whatever happened in that time, if it was to be that I don't wake up, then at least I've kind of done what I could with that time left. Went on holiday with my wife, we always talked about going to Bali, and we ended up doing it.
That's cool. And that made you do it, essentially.
Yeah, definitely. So it's one of those things like, man, we got to do the stuff that we always talked about, just in case. And then going into the surgery is, same thing. Like, I'm either going to make it or not. If I don't, then at least everything that I've wanted to do, I've done. If I do wake up, this is the list. And the first thing on my list was get qualified. I wanted to be a certified personal trainer. So woke up. That's one of the things that I did. Enrolled, got ready, went to study, and I was working at the same time. So I was doing an office job part-time and studying at Les Mills in town part-time. And that was it. It was just kind of moving slowly, and then the stronger I got with my training, the better my preparation became with for the year 2019. Everything just got clearer and clearer. Okay, you're gonna start coaching. What are you gonna do when you start coaching? Who are you gonna coach? Where are you gonna be based? So then all of those things kind of fed into each other, and it just made it easier for me to kind of I just needed to do it. Like there was no more guessing. Like, you're alive, bro. You gotta do something now. So that was just how it was after. Like the path just got clearer as soon as I woke up.
Jeez.
Yeah. Awesome.
I'm surprised you didn't have an outer body experience. Some people.
Yeah, I'm kind of gutted I didn't.
It wasn't your time, Moose, man. It wasn't your time. Oh man, it is. I think it's interesting what you said. I like what you said. Just do it. You do it, and I think we're faced with a life or death situations. You want to fast track things. Like you said, you already prepared stuff for the kids and the letter to your wife and life insurance, all that kind of stuff. Then we kind of realize, what's the most important thing? What's the priorities are like kind of narrow. These are the most important things, and you want to do all this. And you went to Bali, all that kind of stuff. And now that you're obviously here, you're doing some amazing stuff, even more so. And so, how was the next chapter, so to speak? How has the journey thus far been for you since that incident till now?
Oh, it's been really good. Like, it's almost like everything that I did before the surgery has helped me after the surgery. Like, working in corporate, learnt about like documents and Excel sheets and payroll and you know, timesheets and scheduling and rosters. All of a sudden, we need that now for our gym, you know. Working with applications, just kind of online applications. So I'd be out in the field sometimes for that corporate job, kind of just getting used to how to use the iPad and stuff like that. Because I'm surprised that some dudes my age now still don't know how to use apps on the phone. And I'm lucky that I had to use the app for work, or remote access computers and stuff like that. Kind of made it easier for me to start learning self-taught how to build our online business, our online performance business. And that's how it's felt. Like everything I've learned has only contributed to what we're doing now. It was almost like, man, you were meant to go through all that shit for like 15 years working for the man, to be able to work for yourselves now. So luckily I do nothing now. I just clean the gym.
Props to you.
I'm just a cleaner, and then my boss does all the bossy. But yeah, that's how it's been, man. Like it's just, I don't know. Lockdown kind of hit us pretty hard, a little bit. But luckily before that, I had already established our online scene, our online brand.
Cool.
So we kind of went from group fitness training, and then lockdown hit, and it was like, oh shit, we actually got to use this app now. And then we started pushing the app. I started learning. The more I used the app with clients, the better the brand got, or the better our formula got for how we help these people. And now it's, I don't know, it's one of the biggest performance coaching out there. Well, yeah, so what I've heard, I don't really understand how big we are until people are like, wait, you work with this person and this person and this person. Oh yeah, we do.
Man.
But blessed to be able to cross paths with elite athletes who kind of trust us, and our background to kind of help them with that next level in their performance game. So yeah.
Well done, man. Congrats.
Good question. Couple questions.
Yeah, all good.
You talked about being overweight and going through stuff and then having to lose the weight. What's some quick tips you could give to people that struggle with losing weight or slimming down because they're a bit chubby?
Slimming down. First thing is first, like you gotta kind of find an activity routine that you can stick to, like weekly, if not daily. Like, is it a walk for 20 minutes a day? Is it a run for 15 minutes a day? Like, you just got to do something, I would say at least 4 or 5 times a day. Once you find that routine, you slowly realize, shucks, I'm getting fitter. Maybe I'll get even more fitter if I start cleaning up my meals. And then you shift from that to like, oh, maybe I'll just home cook meals for like a month and see how we go. And then that's it. Like, the human brain is kind of wired to teach you. I think there's too much, bro. I think there's too much bovi myself.
There's never too much, man. Never too much, man.
Sorry, I mean, there's too much color on your plate. Like you're kind of looking at your plate and you're like, oh, there's two things that happen. You are like, oh, I think there's too much, or I'm hungry. So then you start to forge like some. Well, first things first, you've established that you can move daily, or if not daily, 4 to 5 times a week. 2, you know how to cook. So cook, cook at home. Stop buying takeaways. Start using Uber Eats, and then you start establishing. Oh, okay, cool. Maybe I'll change some things. Maybe I'll add more greens. Maybe I'll try pumpkin instead of kalo, or kumara instead of rice. Like you start, if you're truly interested in self change, you become interested in what's going to help you change, if that makes sense.
It's good, man.
Yeah, but for me it was like I knew if I ate less I would lose more, and that's what I did. Just no guidance, and then like it paid off in the short term. So then my goal to start with was, okay, because my son laughed at my stomach, I want abs. And that was my goal from there. Like, man, I'm going to get abs. And I keep going till I get it. Eventually got there. But, man, I'll tell you, bro, they were the ugliest set of abs ever.
What?
Bro, like,
Why?
I had no focus. Like, there was no structure. It was like abs were showing. Still had saggy skin. Had, like, no chest. Small as arms. And, like, at the time, my focus was abs. You need abs, bro. You're going to get abs. And then I got the abs. And then as soon as I saw the photo, I was like, Sully, where's your chest? Why are your nipples bigger than your chest, bro? And that was, like, I think my wife still got that photo, and so that just shows, like, just no knowledge, like, just no guidance, just someone who sees a goal, chases it, and then quickly realizes at the end, oh, bro, you need a new goal. You need a chest to go with the abs, or you need some arms that suit your body, you know?
Yeah.
So that was, yeah, sorry, I don't know.
No,
that's
good,
perfect. That's a
man.
perfect
That's
segue
good,
into
man.
like, okay, so we want to lose weight. We start. It sounds like from what you're saying that sort of just the simple things, really.
Yeah,
Eating home
definitely.
cooked meals, move every day,
Yep.
things that we already know. But is it better to implement them sort of one at a time as opposed to trying to do everything all at once?
Definitely one at
Yeah,
a time.
okay.
So why I push activity before food is because food-wise, it's too easy to overdo it. So you could, and then you overthink it, and then you get frustrated. Food, like you could be like, I'll eat clean today, and then I'll wake up tomorrow, I'll weigh in, I'll probably put on like a kg. Oh damn, I'm over it, and that's day 2. You know, whereas what they're not thinking about is, okay, cool, you ate clean, but how much of the rice or the kumara or the steak did you have? How much fats did you have? Did you have too much peanut butter? How much peanut butter and jam sandwiches did you have? Like, yeah, homemade, but like there's a lot of things. So even with that, like putting on a kg overnight after eating clean for one day, like they could have had nothing on Sunday or one big meal on Sunday, meaning they're still in a calorie deficit. They'll weigh in on Sunday night, eat clean for the whole day Monday, put on a bit more weight because they were starving on Sunday, and then Tuesday they're heavier. They're not thinking about that. They're just thinking about, oh, I ate clean yesterday. It should be all gone now. So that's why I always go, cool. If you're gonna chase, like if you're gonna look into starting a routine for yourself, start moving first. Once you've found that routine and you can keep it for like 2-3 weeks, start adding food. Not start adding food, like don't cut food at all. Like just start making it from home. Yeah, start
That's good
Mm.
preparing your
advice.
snacks.
And then you were saying from there, start as you're eating, start changing. So like change
just
out rice for
experiment.
kumara and
Yeah.
see how that goes for a bit. And
Yeah. Like instead of baking your chicken and butter and and all those fats, like air fryer, man. The air fryer is the one, man.
legit.
Yeah, that saved my life. That saved my prep really this year, because I always had to. I can't prep chicken at work. So I always had steak at work. But steak, if you kind of measure that, you can't have much steak if you're trying to convert macros for chicken to steak. Like the steak content is
Much less.
Fat is a lot higher than chicken. So I needed leaner meat. So then I told my wife, man, we need an air fryer at work because I'm sick and tired of kind of taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Like, so then we got an air fryer, and ever since, man, like, it's been so easy. My snacks are chicken and dates. Probably the weirdest combo you might have heard.
Together or
yeah, together.
Oh, what the
Yeah.
heck?
So I have one of my snacks is 200-gram chicken, and then anywhere between 60 and 80 grams of dates. Yeah, so I'll air fry the chicken, seasoned and all, and then in the last 5 minutes I'll chuck my dates in, and then I'll eat it. Yeah.
Does it become like a jam sort of thingy or not?
No, the dates are still pretty solid.
Oh, true.
Not as hard. They're a bit creamy, eh? Like it's like a bigger, creamier raisin, just without that raisin. The aftertaste. Man, they're so good, eh? And then some days, if I'm short on fat macros, I'll add some some peanut butter. Just chuck it on the chicken and hone that down.
Man, that's some good advice. Maybe you could explain that, because some people, and maybe you've already mentioned it, obviously with the eating and all that, because I know a lot of people, they train the house down, they train for months, years, and they still look the same.
Yep.
Is that the reason why? Because of because I'm assuming it's food.
Yeah.
Eating. Everyone always talks about, I can train, I can do the lifts and all that. But when it comes down to eating the food, it's like, man, it just ruins the whole process.
Yeah, well, sometimes like some dudes, I know quite a few dudes that have been training for years, and they still look the same. Sometimes the goal is to look the same but lift heavier, which is all good. But then definitely, like I would relate looking the same if you're training hard but still looking the same, but you really want to change physically, to a few things. So sleep, stress, and food. So if those things aren't under control, then it'll be hard to progress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when I'm not being judgmental, but when I say same, like this, so it's the first time they came back in the gym and they just look the same. Like, oh man, and I kind of I hear people complain, oh man, I look the same, and just training. But also another one because a lot of people, they go into these challenges.
Oh yes,
and these challenges. Hey, Brady, I'm part of. I do some of those challenges, but some people go into those challenges. And so, what are your thoughts on those challenges? Because people they lose the weight, and then all of a sudden, after the challenge, they come back and and I'm guilty of that as well. So what's the mindset, or why the yo-yo effect?
I'm glad you asked this. Like, this is one of those things that kind of helped me get off the ground with our programming. So we started out offering something called 6 Weeks with Widow program, and that program was based on lifestyle changes. So throughout that program, we would teach people, we would set out like a meal guide, and they would just basically pick what they want to eat. Okay, I can have this much of this, I can have as much as I want of that, and I will progress. And that was the same thing for 6 weeks. So we were basically encouraging people to do the same thing that I was explaining, move, which was come into class and eat. So how we ensured that they were eating was they had to keep food journals. So they had to submit that to me every Saturday, and then we'll go through it together. Like, oh, cool. Had a bit too much Snickers in this one. Maybe we change it. Go maybe one a week, not one an hour. But that was the program that my wife and I designed. It was like, and that was simply because off the back of that was the trend at the time was, man, do this challenge and you'll lose so much weight. You look so good at the end of 6 weeks. And then I started digging a little bit deeper, like asking questions to the people who would do really well. Like, how did you manage to lose that much weight in this time? Like, some people were dropping like 30, 40 kgs, man. This was crazy at the time. I was like,
in 6 weeks?
Yeah, in 6 weeks, man.
Way.
But then they'll start out like maybe close to 200. Like, that's how big they were. So it's normal to kind of drop that much. And then they were like, some of them were telling me, some people that came to us after that challenge, they were like, oh yeah, the coach was like telling us to cut our water on the last week and no eating carbs on the last.
You're weird.
I was like, wait, are you doing a bodybuilding show or are you doing a challenge? And then and then like I'm not pointing any fingers anywhere, but that was just the mindset back then was, man, I'm going to go hard for 6 weeks. And at the end of 6 weeks, I'm going to get so wasted. I'm going to eat whatever I want. And then I'll jump back on another 6 weeks. And that's a great way to run business because you got a constant subscription for people to come back on. But what are you teaching? You know, like, are you teaching people that starving yourself for 6 weeks so you can drink big at the end of 6 weeks is all good? Look skinny for a weekend and then back on Monday, like, and that was our point of difference. Like, we just wanted to help people. Like, man, look, you can go to a challenge where you're gonna lose all this weight and look fabulous in a dress on Saturday that won't fit on Sunday, or you could learn what you could that you could kind of drop slowly but maintain it long term, like long after 6 weeks is done. And then that was our point of difference, like lifestyle. Like we continue to push lifestyle. We literally just finished a 6-week rebuild challenge, is what we called it, where we were helping people understand the importance of eating 3 meals a day at least, a couple snacks. But the thing is that training now is getting very intense out there. So with a combination of functional fitness and CrossFit, training is demanding. And what I found being in that CrossFit scene last year was a lot of CrossFitters were under eating quite a bit. True. And it was crazy, man. Like I would I checked my calories burned during a certain block last year, because I wanted to understand how many calories I was burning within a block of training. And I was burning like 800, 900 calories within about 2-3 hours of training. And I was like, bro, I need to train 2-3 hours. Some people train like this 3-4 times a day, man. So then I started thinking, man, and then I saw at comp days, people weren't eating before their competition was. So they were like just chucking down water and Gatorade, and man, you need carbs, bro. You need some sugar. So then started working closely with J-Boy and some of his athletes, and I started experimenting with him, like just. So then I had them eating like sushi before WODs, Snickers bars and chocolate and shit like that before WODs, sandwiches, and man, they improved quite a lot. Only because instead of like looking for the gas in you, like it was there. They just needed to eat, and that was that's what we're up to. Like we're just enforcing food is your friend, not your enemy.
It's good, man.
Yeah.
But it's good. It is real informative because what is the dangers? Obviously, you described some of the people that starve.
Yeah.
I know you might starve themselves doing those challenges. What are the dangers in that, in terms of what's happening for them physically or even maybe mentally also?
Yeah. Well, mentally, it's quite like if you're having to starve yourself to kind of maintain some sort of progress for fitness, I don't know. I can imagine that person is really self-conscious, like a bit depressed about how they feel and how they look. And if you're not eating, man, like bodybuilders, like we're still eating, but not as much as we usually would. And we feel depressed. But this is because that's for us. That's mentally, that's our trenches. Like that's how we survive through this. Like we kind of thrive in the sport because we like that side of it. But for a lifestyle person who starves, one of the main things is ruining the metabolism. So just not eating often, like your metabolism, you're stuffing that up. So it's kind of hard for you to burn fat once you start to eat. So just imagine not eating for 6 weeks properly, or eating too less of an amount for 6 weeks, and then introducing like 3 burgers on Sunday. Man, you'll feel bloated, you feel like crap, feel oily, you'll probably feel sick, and then what are you gonna do on Monday? Oh, I felt better when I starved. Starve again. So it's kind of like it's a real bad thing. Like it's still out there. We're just hoping to work with as many people as we can to teach them not to starve.
What's your take on the whole 1 meal a day intermittent type of deal?
Sorry. Personally, I wouldn't. Only because I know if I want a strong morning with the amount of work that I have every morning, I need to eat. So then I have my breakfast. If I know if I got training after lunch, I need to eat. Got to have lunch. I know if I want to function properly while I'm running my night classes, I need to eat, have dinner. To keep my energy levels spiked or balanced throughout my day, I need to make sure I got my snacks in between those meals. So personally, I wouldn't push that as a safe way to kind of maintain weight loss. Because sometimes some people are okay with eating 1 meal a day, but can you imagine like a hole this big, right? And then you're asking a dump truck to come and dump half their load in a hole this big, and this is your digestive system. how is that going to function? Like, is it going to be honing through that food, or is it going to sit on top with a room and kind of just play around? Yeah. And then that turns into like stored fat, which ultimately looks like love handles.
Bro.
So this, yeah.
But you're gonna have to help us, man. You're gonna have to help me, man. Bro, no, I'm serious, man. Like, I don't know. I've been trying to, man. I haven't seen abs in years, years. And I've seen some of the footage and the photos that you have of your training and so on. Man, just amazing physique. Also, and so I know a lot of people are like, okay, man, because you hear all the time, man. It's me, oh man, I want to get abs, get rock hard abs, and you always think of was it Peter Andre, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So mysterious girl. But anyway, because you hear all these other exercises, and I see on YouTube, this is the best exercise for abs. This is the ideal ones. This is the best one. Tell us, because you have it. You the proof in the pudding. You already have it. What are the best exercises for our men to get abs?
Strong titles.
Oh, come on, man.
No, I'm serious, man. I'm serious. Like for example, I tried to maintain my abs during my CrossFit stint last year because I knew my output was high, so I was burning a lot. But I was also eating a lot because I was burning a lot. And I was eating stuff like sandwiches and sushi and burgers and like big meals. And I barely maintained it. So if I had tweaked it a bit, if I wanted to, if I tweaked it to the right amount, I could have had abs throughout the whole season. And that was just because of food. But then the issue with that is I would be sacrificing my performance to have abs. So then I'd be like, oh, cool. You look mean in that photo. Well, yeah, I failed that lift though. And I was like, oh, bro, it's one's got to give. Like, I either look nice or I lift nice. And I chose to perform better than the way I looked on the comp floor. Like, I didn't look that bad. But I know my mindset was I wanted to go into it looking like a bodybuilder doing CrossFit. Quickly knowing, that wasn't going to happen for me last year. I needed to move like a CrossFitter, then look like a bodybuilder. And I'll just say for the bodybuilding when I'm back there. Yeah. But it's definitely diet. Yeah. That's how you get abs.
Oh man.
Yeah. I wish there was
that magic pill or something.
Yeah. I wish there was. It was like, man, I'll be on that right now. But yeah. I can 100% vouch that it's definitely diet that helps people get abs. Yeah.
It's a perfect segue talking about how you got laughed at by your child, and you were like humiliated too. You're like, I want to get abs. You went and got abs, and they looked horrible because you looked horrible with abs. What are the, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 different exercises that men, especially men, if they're not in good shape, aesthetically, maybe just generically, what exercises should they be doing? Should they be like, trying to do some on your chest or some for your back? And what exercises even then?
A good frame.
On the controller.
Exercise.
Big thumbs. No, a good frame was like if I was if I had a new person walk into my gym and say, I want to look hot. This is a dude, right? I want to look hot. And then I'll be like, okay, cool. What do you want to work? What do you want to build on? If he said, up to you. If it was up to me, the main things we would build would be chest, shoulders, legs. Yeah. And then obviously the diet would do everything else. You got big shoulders, big chest. There's a good frame. Got big legs to match your chest and your big shoulders. It's a really good frame. And that illusion makes you have a smaller waist because your legs are big, your upper body's big, makes your waist look tiny. And they could still have like a straight, like no abs, just straight down belly, but still they'll look mean. So I'm big on back though. I love my back workouts. But yeah, so for full conditioning, it'll be chest, shoulders, legs, back. That'll be my go-to.
Are there any like standard I don't even know what you call them. That's how little I train.
like movements and stuff. Okay,
movements,
cool.
exercises. Yeah.
The standard ones also. So bench press, always good to build on. If you got a strong bench, you obviously got a strong push.
Just regular, just straight.
Yeah, just regular is fine. Obviously having to adjust your bench a bit, like incline bench or decline, works different parts of your chest. But if you're a newbie, it could be dangerous to ask you to do that. So I'd just say flat bench, build on that. Back squat, build on that. Deadlift, build on that. And that's just the 3 things.
Cool.
Yeah. Easy.
Shot.
People often think it's just the arms. They focus on arms,
man.
biceps all the time,
thinks, Yeah. Everyone thinks, man, I need big arms. Or, yeah, but what are those arms going to do if you can't run those? Or someone comes and slaps you and then what? You're going to run in your hands?
The handstand.
Yeah, you got me handstand.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah,
man.
So that's why a lot of my chicken picks on my coach, I do full body, because I've always believed that complete physique, like in my division, we wear board shorts, but a complete physique, you need legs. Like you need solid legs to suit your upper body. Whereas my first few comps, I was lacking my legs because a lot of the focus was always on my upper body. Because that's our division, they just judge from the waist up. They don't really look at your legs, like how baggy your shorts are. Like, silly, who's your quads? But for me, aesthetically, it's better. I'd be more content with myself if my whole body looked like it matched. Not like upper body Arnold and then legs Mr. Bean. Silly.
So they take the photos, they just always waist.
What's happening here? Yeah. So we always get mocked for having no legs, the men's physique boys, until they see the legs, and then some of the boys got some mean quads, man.
This is cool, man. That's awesome. What an accomplishment! Also, it's just amazing. But also, just along the lines of obviously training and all that, because you're natural, IFBB, natural, MP, and so I know we kind of touched on it just before we having the talanoa. Also. And maybe I don't know. Maybe we can touch this, but steroids. Yeah. You often think about steroids in the game. People are using it's easy accessible now. What is it? What are you finding now in this day and age in terms of the training regime, but also people that you're training with? Is it still rampant? Is it still strong in the game, so to speak?
Oh yeah, it's I've been since 2015 we've been competing. And every show we've done, there's always been people that have been on it, and we get judged the same. Like the judge won't look at us being like, okay, this guy looks better because he's natural. But maybe I'll mark this guy down because he's on steroids. Like there's no marking criteria. It's like how symmetry, your body, how well does it look? And like some dudes look amazing on it, man. Like some of the boys that I compete with now, some of the top physiques in the world, I believe, and this because they've done their research. They know the harms of what it does. The only time it would be frowned upon is if you, in my opinion, if you do a natural show and you used to be on it.
Oh yeah.
And that's, to me, that's like, how much size did you gain from being on it to now being in a natural show where you're no longer, where you can pass a natural test, but how much of your size was built on that? Like, but that's just me. Like, you still gotta work, man. Like you could, some of the guys I came up with, they were on steroids, and when they were explaining it to me, man, it was like hard work, eh? Also expensive as. So I was like, bro, these guys are paying mortgage payments for the stuff, bro. What? I was like, bro, this is crazy. I don't know if they were sponsored. I don't know who sponsors steroids, but obviously they must have been paying for it somehow. It's just hearing it, like the protocols that they're gonna do, like just to kind of inject it in there, and the feels you go through it. Like I have a close friend who was on it. I'm not sure if he's on it anymore, and mentally I lost him as a friend, like, because I didn't understand like what he was up to anymore. Like I still message him now and then, but I just didn't get where his mentality was. Like, it was hard to gauge where our friendship was, because all it was I want to look better, I want to look this, I want to look that, I want to be the best in New Zealand. I was like, Uspa, how are you? Like, how are you doing? How's work? How's the business? Nah, I gotta get bigger. Fuck, shut up, babe. That's enough. It turned into that, and it was just like, I wouldn't say it ruined relationships. It just got harder to communicate with those people. Like, whereas before, man, we would sit there for hours just mocking each other, eh? And then it just got harder to talk to these people, or this particular person. And then, but yeah, it was in my federation, IFBB, you could be on it, you may not be on it. But there's shows where they don't mark that down. Like, they don't test it. Sorry. So 2015, 2016, 2017, my first 4 shows in 2019, they were all open. So people could be on it, some may not be on it. It was only in 2019, it was an all-natural show. And yeah, so the overall winners had to go to the back and do a urine test. So the top 3. So if I won, the 2 after me we all had to take tests. So if I had failed, they would have got the pro card. It would have been delegated down. And that's where the true tests come out. And the show that I'm doing in Washington, it's all natural. So we have to all do testing with signed contracts and stuff like that. It's pro division, so it's kind of up there. And I've seen some of these physiques, man. I was like, totally. That looks a bit. But it's the game. Like, I can't go up there, complain. They look better because they may have been on it before. I just gotta go up there and show my best, and whatever happens, happens. Same mindset.
Yeah, that's good. I love the mindset, man. Well, tell us, because you mentioned Washington. Tell us also what's the comp out there, and what's it looking like?
The comp there is the all natural Ben Wider. I don't even know how to say his name. Ben Wider, all natural pro. We're all my division. All my entire class are all pro naturals. So, if anything, best of the best naturals in the world. And I turned 40 next year, and I was like, man, we gotta do this once, at least once in my life. Me fingers crossed, thinking I'm sure I look better aged. I'm sure I look better now than I did 5 years ago, but we'll see, hey. But yeah, just keen to give it a go. Like, just honestly, the reason why I do these shows is for my kids and, well, myself, my kids, and our family, and also our gym community. Like, don't let it stop at me. Like, bro, I'm the same as you. Like, we can all do something special, and don't let it stop at me. Like, don't look at me and be like, oh man, that's the pinnacle of fitness. Because it's not. Like, there's so much more to fitness than just bodybuilding. Like, you could be a coach killing it online. Like, I have a coach that I'm working with now, and I'm training her up to be a coach. And man, she can do some amazing things. She just needs to kind of believe that she can. Yeah. She's been a client of ours for a while, and my wife and I have been working with her closely for the last, say, about 3-4 years. And yeah, she's a special lady, but she kind of just needs to believe that she can do something big too. Not just, I'll just see what coach says and then I'll see how this goes. Like, man, I just want people to see it and be like, I want to try that. Like, man, this guy from Mangry got kicked out of Mangry College, and all of a sudden he's in Washington battling out with these big boys, Like, it's just, there's definitely a big message in there. I just hope people see it. Like, I don't want to keep telling people, yeah, I'm doing this for you and you and you. Like, man, it's either you see it or you don't. But I'm honestly doing it for my family, my kids, and anyone who wants to see change. Like, man, you can do it. Yeah, that's what this big show is about. But also do it before I'm 40. That's the big thing. Yeah.
Man. It seems like you could accomplish so much in that small period of small period of time, but within a time.
Feels like a short period, man.
Yeah, but it seems like you've obviously you go to the Washington, and so in terms of the future, because I don't know if you've kind of looked beyond that. Obviously, you say you're turning 40, and obviously, unfortunately, we get older.
Yeah.
And so obviously you're coaching, you're a nutritionist. What's the few other? Have you thought of the other than the next level or the next steps?
Yes. So I do want to step away from coaching classes. I do want my kids to kind of insert themselves in there. Like my son, my eldest son Zach, he's definitely someone special in CrossFit. Very athletic, very fit. Just right now, not as driven as I'd like him to be, or as we'd like him to be. Like, man, me and my wife talk about this all the time, right? Like, we're hard on our kids. But my son, bro, he's got no girlfriend at the age of 19. No girlfriend, has a job, part-time job, he's studying, drives his siblings wherever they want to go, trains hard, and I still give him shit, like, say, why are you still taking my undies, bro? You're 19 years old. You came up by your own now. Now we're like I'm a real harsh critic on him and his sister, the older two, because I see that they can do more and they can kind of take over what I'm doing, what I'm trying to do. My daughter, her name's Nani, and same thing, man. Hard on her, but she has a full-time job. She trains. She's one of the best Olympic lifters in our gym. Wow. Strongest female lifter in our gym. She just eats too much junk food. And that's what I'm hard on her about. Like, man, you want to run, but you want to get fitter, but you're eating all of this rubbish, and I'm like giving her a hard time. And then me and my wife kind of catch each other out. We're like, we're so hard on these kids, but they're actually not bad. Like, man, I was telling you, when I was 19,
when I was 19, I was supposed to say church.
When I was 19, man, I was reading my Bible. I was like, sorry, God bless you. Yeah, I was
whatever, bro.
We were like, we would catch each other out, like, and then I'll ask her, like, man, what were you like at 19? And then she'll ask me, and then we'll like tell each other, and we're like, bro, our kids are actually really good.
Yeah, man.
Like, but that's just me. I didn't get pushed hard into something. I think if anything, I was pushed more towards church. Growing up, like go to church, go to youth, go sing these songs, go do the best way kanga, go listen to these people. My grandparents, Samani and Savbali Pulpule, they were pioneers in creating Assemblies of God in New Zealand. The pull that church had on our family was massive, and that's why growing up, all I remember up until I was 19 was, 19 was go to church. Don't be late. Are you gonna join the band?
Oh, you're the band. Yeah, as if you're going to the AOG band.
Yeah. Oh, like, are you gonna go sing? Are you gonna get baptized? I'm like, man. That was the only push we had, because I'm not sure if we had many options out there at that time. Like, my parents are they're hard workers. My grandparents, both sides, my parents, hard workers, and everyone was church. Like, my parents were there like 3 times a week. We were there probably the same amount of time. And this was stuff to do with not local. Like, local was Wednesday night and Sundays. And then we were there on other days for like church practice or band practice or youth practice. And then I got my kids here who I'm hard on. Like, but they kind of like going to church. My babies, they love going to church, and they still go to AUG with my parents. And there was no real push for us back then to kind of create something for yourself in the community, as opposed to go to church. That's the community that you need to be in. Go to church. Man, there was some dodgy people at our church. I'll tell you that much, bro. And love our church.
That's cool, man. I like it. You mentioned obviously the AOG church, but also your own community, because you've established, you've created your own community in the fitness space, the fitness arena. But also, man, just a wealth of knowledge. Thank you so much. It feels like you've really educated. I like it. Thanks for bringing it up. Thanks for bringing it up, man. That's awesome. Also, you know what I feel like also? I think I don't know, Brad. I think we should do a challenge or something.
But like,
I'm ready when you guys are, man.
I think we can, man. Listen, I've been wanting abs for ages, man, for years, and so, man, I don't know, man. I don't know, Wolves.
You guys say it.
We need to do it. We need to do it.
Here's my catch. I'll do it for you guys. But the catch is the whole mandate. Team have to be on board.
Oh, I think we're ready. Kill.
Man, everybody, from being behind the mic to behind the desk, everybody else, from fixing that light to making the coffees, everybody.
Oh man, also, no, I think I'm keen, man. I'm keen to.
Someone's around the corner. Someone's around the corner, boys.
Hard, bro.
Oh man,
hard.
Yeah, and now we need you to be our personal trainer.
Yeah, man.
It's a man.
For sure.
Oh, next minute.
Never know. And then next podcast is this guy. Sully, how was your bodybuilding show? Sully, how was your bodybuilding show?
That's that singlet.
Sully, this guy's wearing hoodies.
Come to TikTok next time. Welcome to Mandays.
Whoa, confidence.
Welcome to Mandays.
That's hard.
Oh man. Awesome, man. It's been an absolute pleasure. So, obviously, I think if anything, we need to get you back in terms of just kind of a regular reoccurrence in terms of our fitness, because you do nutrition as well.
Yeah. So my wife is certified nutrition coach. All of my coaching based on nutrition is all from 2015 all the way up till now. 2008 all the way up to just everything I've learned for all the coaches that I worked with, all my own experiences, all the athletes that I work with. That's kind of helped me establish what my formula looks like for certain lifestyles. Like if you're just someone who wants to lose weight because you're trying to keep up with the kids, to someone who wants to do their first bodybuilding show, to someone who is lacking in their CrossFit performance. Like there's so many avenues that we can kind of help you with. And that's my experience. I'm more of a practical learner. Like I got to do it so I can understand it, and then I'll try and implement it. Whereas my wife, she's a lot smarter than I am. She does all the hard work, yeah.
Oh, props to your wife. What's your wife's name?
Her name is Flora. Yeah. She does her background is florist. So she has her own florist business. That's actually what kept us afloat during the heart surgery, because that payout that kind of went pretty quickly after we brought that PS4. Yeah. But yeah. She's definitely the rock of our family. She makes sure everybody's in line, everybody's heard. Whereas I'm kind of a bit short with the kids. Like I ask them a question, if they give me an answer, no, they don't like the answer. Give me another one. Whereas she'll sit there and she'll listen to them, taking their feedback, and then she'll relay it to me in a way that I can understand it. So she's definitely someone who's been a massive part of our success over the last few years. So yeah, Flora Nuliti is her name.
Nice. Cool. Oh man, props to your wife also. And tell us, because when is the comp? When is the one in Washington? When is it happening?
Washington's comp is November 16. I don't know. I don't know what the day split is between Washington and New Zealand. But yeah, November 16th is the date. We fly out on the November 9th. And yeah, we got about 8-9 weeks left of prep. Yeah.
It's not long now, eh?
Yeah, not long at all. So like yeah, just like a couple of months. We're on. Yeah. So we're going a little bit early, because when you fly for that long, your body builds up a little bit of water. So we got to get there a bit early, kind of lean down a little bit, week of comp, and start eating properly, find a gym. Yeah, get a meal prep company, because right now I'm taken care of by Forkit. Not sure if you heard of them, but they're our current sponsors for this prep. Fork at New Zealand, man, the best eye fillet steak pre-made.
Really?
I gotta bring some in for you boys.
Can anyone buy it?
Yeah, anyone can buy it. They're called Fork at New Zealand. Brian Choi is his name, is the owner. The guy that linked me up with him, his name is Orion is his name, sorry. And yeah, man, these guys have been taking care of me for the last, say, about a couple of months with prep. 3 minutes in the microwave, and the eye fillet tastes like it just got cooked.
Damn.
Yeah, man, that's how good they are. I keep pushing. They got healthy dumplings too. Not sure, didn't know that was a thing, but my wife eats those and she loves them. Yeah, they got a selection of food, man. Like, yeah, I'll try and bring some in. So you guys can try it.
Man,
Be your own judge. Like, I can sit here sell it to you all day, but it's better if you try it. Like, yeah, this guy's talking shit. This guy likes me.
This is fully cooked.
It's still red. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, Falcons, the boys there. Yeah, definitely taking care of us.
Oh man, Marlon levels.
And I just have 2 more questions. So the first one, you talked about how you're essentially an office broker for like 15 years for the most part.
Yep.
So you did all the different stuff within being an office broker, and then you said when you went into entrepreneurship and you started your business,
Yep.
all of those skills came into play. What were some of the biggest learnings, bar the maybe technical skills? What were the biggest learnings that you found from being a 9-to-5 worker to being an entrepreneur?
Dealing with people. I used to be a manager, team leader, and I managed people my age, a little bit older and a little bit younger. So the age range was kind of primed to kind of fight you back, you know, when the respect isn't quite there, they're kind of, this guy's same age as me, doesn't know shit. So it was managing people to help, that helped me a lot. Because socially I'm awkward. I was telling this guy earlier. Like, if I see you out in public and I've never met you properly, I'd be too shy to kind of approach you. But if you're in my space and you kind of do something, like, for an example, if I see one of our clients at the gym doing something they shouldn't have been doing, my approach there is pretty direct, like, because I know this is my space, you're making people unsafe, I know how to deal with that, and I'll be pretty direct. And then I got someone who walks in late, I know how to joke, I know how to, create a little bit of banter, a little bit of laughter amongst the people before the class. So it's definitely being able to relate and manage people, manage the different personalities that come through our door. Because there's several, man, like, especially kind of combining the different personalities to the different fitness levels. Like, someone could lift 5 kgs and feel so good about it. Other one could lift 5 kgs and be like, oh, it's too light. Like, I'm sure I can lift heavier. Like a little bit of ego lifting. So it's kind of just the biggest lesson is knowing how to communicate to people, how to kind of read them almost, and making sure that I know my place in that space. It's like, we're the owner, head coach. I got to own it. Whatever happens in here, if any accidents happen, obviously it's on me because I didn't coach properly. We've had some people like fully disrespect me in front of other people in the gym, which was kind of hard to take at the time. But instead of being like, nah, you F up, you F out, it was like, oh, okay. Carried on with the class, and that happened right at the start. So it took about an hour for me to kind of swallow, like just handle it.
What they do on Witzer? What they just...
one of them just said straight up, like, I was explaining the workout, and then it was like, oh, just F up, like, but the full on F word. I was like, hey, yeah, just F up. And then like everyone in that class felt a bit awkward. And one of the people that person came with were like, man, just shut up. Like they knew it was a bit overboard. I'm like, oh, okay. And I left it. I swallowed it for that whole session. And then I planned Well, the first thing I did, I called my wife. I'm like, fuck, you know what? You know what happened today? I'm gonna smash him. You know what happened today? But like that's my way of dealing. I know if I tell my wife about that hard time, she'll just sit there and listen. She's not one to kind of come back like, oh my gosh, I hate her, or I hate him. It's like, oh, okay, just try and calm down. And then that's what happened. I calmed down. And then what happened right after was, like, you know, you jump on your Instagram, see stories, and then saw this person's story, and they were like, and this person was laughing about it. Like, oh my gosh, I just told my coach to F up. It started cracking up. Like, it was funny, and I was like, bro, I was like borderline gonna kalepi. And you're like sitting there. But yeah, so then I messaged that person like that time, and it was something around the lines of, oh, I'm glad you feel like it was funny, because it actually, you know, it was big. It was big for me to kind of walk away from that, because it wasn't actually funny. And then it was sorry, and then I could confidently say that I think that's what changed my way of coaching. Like, I kind of got brought back to earth, because up until that moment, it was, I love coaching, man. Like, people are so good. People are so responsive. And then that happened. I was like, oh, okay, that's what happens sometimes. And then our coaches now, they kind of go through the same thing, and then they open up to us, and then I can kind of guide them on those scenarios. Like, look, they may have had a bad day. Don't take it too personal. It might have just, you know, slipped out of their mouth. But that's all part of in office, corporate office politics, bro. Like, you'll hear stories from one person about the other person, about what they said about you, and then you got two options. You either approach that person and try and fix it, then be completely wrong, 50% chance of being wrong, or just swallow it and just wait and kind of let it digest slowly until you kind of figure out, okay, what's my next move? What's gonna make me not look like a dickhead or someone who's so angry? So, you know, it's kind of just managing your own feelings, especially when there's negative times. So,
it's good, man.
That was my way of
cool.
Yeah.
Good advice, man. Good advice.
Yeah, don't just go slapping people. I know it feels good, but it's not nice.
And the last question was, what's it like working with your wife? I mean, I know there's a lot of men that are like, oh man, you know, they're all ball and chain. Can't wait to get away from her, to go to work, got to come home. But like, what's it like? Do you enjoy it?
Oh, I love it, man. I love it. She lets me do my thing. I let her do her thing. When things are when there's serious things that need to be taken care of, we're a pretty decent team. Like, we could be on the same team very effectively, if we wanted to. But usually I got my set of to-dos, she has hers, and then we only kind of cross paths when it's big things like contracts or offering, because we work with several other gyms. So we just finished gym challenges for Empire, the box. We currently still have one with Soul Performance out west, and we did a little bit of work with Juggernaut out west as well. So we basically write plans for the other gyms and their challenges. And that's when my wife and I kind of make sure, okay, are we charging enough? Is it too expensive? Is it too cheap? Are we doing enough work? Is there a better way to do this? But yeah, man, she's I got so many videos on my phone, like just sitting there, like backstabbing her. Like, I'll sit far away. She's sitting at her desk, and I'm like, man, look at this. Look at this snack. I was like, I'm hungry. But it's usually a really good time. Like, we clash here and there. But I think despite being married, all business partners do. There comes a point where you don't agree on something, and it takes a lot to kind of either surrender, if that's the word. But I got no issues to surrendering to my wife, especially if I can see her point of view, and it's a lot more effective than my point of view. Yeah, I got no issues of being wrong. I just need to make sure you know what you're talking about. So,
how do you keep it objective like that? How do you keep your feelings out of it if this is business decisions?
Yeah. It's hard at first because she'll tell me an idea. If I clash with it, I'll say nah. And then she'll keep coming with the idea, and nah. And then she'll kind of break it all down for me, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So that's how she does her thing. For me, it's I kind of, sometimes I'll throw us in it, and like, sorry, baby, we're doing this. Is that all good? And then she'll be like, oh, it's too late now. We can't change it. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then other times I'll like do the whole thing, I'll whole plan it. And then I'll be like, cool. This is what I have planned for this gym. This, and this at this cost. What do you reckon? Oh, yeah. Or too cheap or too expensive. And then that's it. Like that. We have like a few ways of communicating with each other. And I feel like they all complement each other, especially when we're trying to, in the back of our minds, we want to make sure we're running a successful business, but also trying to make sure our marriage isn't suffering from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Because I've been an asshole. I can tell you that. I haven't been the one most times. But yeah, she's stuck in there. Yeah.
Man, some good nuggets, man.
Oh, so I have to say, boys.
No, hard out. In terms of obviously in the fitness game, but also marriage, and also just the information. It's been very educational as well. So,
thank you.
Yeah, man, all levels.
I'm glad.
But also, hey, obviously I'm mindful of time, but also we always give a gift. To our guests, our lovely guests, and we always do a caricature or a cartoon of how we envision them to be. And so, on behalf of the Mandate team, also this is for you.
Oh shit! How free?
This is for you.
Damn, that looks mean.
Oh man,
that's buzzy.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much, also for your time. I appreciate it. It's been awesome, man.
Can you share that off?
Yeah, man. It's awesome, man. But also, because we always before we conclude, is there anyone that you can think of that would be ideal to come on the podcast? You think, man, you need to have this person on.
If you like stories, I got my mate. He lives in Hamilton. His name is Ephraim Gudgeon. This guy is what happened to him? He's paralyzed. Like perfectly fine. Got married, paralyzed. Instead of digging himself deeper in that hole, he's paraplegic now, so he can't walk at all. Got my turned into a pro bodybuilder.
Hey.
Yeah, man. And one of the best in the world too. He's from New Zealand. Hardly anyone knows him because he's one of those. He's quiet. Like he doesn't really. He's not about the. I'm this dude, you know. And love him. Him and his wife. They recently had a baby. I shouldn't say that because no one knows it. But yeah. But my man Ephraim is definitely. I've really enjoyed his story, and how his wife, how they are, him and his wife are, kind of reminds me of me and my wife. I'm not sure if my wife would have stayed with me if I ended up in a wheelchair, but no, I'm kidding. But that's kind of like the strength. The strength in their marriage is what I kind of see in ours. Man, they got married, they were fine, like walking, all of that stuff, and then tragedy happened, and then wheelchair for life, and now he's still killing it. Has his own apparel brand called Mana, and pro bodybuilder. He turned pro the same year I turned pro, so that's how we connected. And then then now my kids call him uncle and auntie. Yeah, it's pretty mean. He's got an amazing story, and he's definitely a good dude, man.
Ephraim, man. Ephraim.
Ephraim.
Awesome. Appreciate it, man. But we always give our guests the last words of encouragement for our men, our listeners, our viewers. Oops.
Oh, man. Live and learn, boys. Live your life. Like, don't shy away from hard times or challenges. Like, live through it, see it through, and just keep learning. Learning has been a massive part of my journey. If I didn't learn about bodybuilding, I don't think I would have ever learned to be ready for the open heart surgery that kind of changed the course of my life. But even today, still learning from the boys, great men like you guys, that fella, that Hori next door, J-Boy. Like I'm always learning, man. Like, and for some reason, I'm finding myself meeting more influential men, not so much in a social capacity, but these that just know what they're talking about, you know, guys that genuinely speak and from experience and just keep learning, and that's all I gotta say to the boys is like, just live life, keep learning, and don't forget to keep loving your wives, please, and your kids.
Yeah, Maro love so much. Please don't forget to subscribe, and we look forward to your wealth in our comments. And as usual, also
refine,
unlock,
and take charge.
Mandate.